So the F-35 video got a lot more attention than I was expecting, and got a lot of comments and a lot of people talking about it, including in the DCS Discord. And I feel like a lot of people were missing the point that I was trying to make in that video, and that's on me because I wasn't very clear about what my concerns really were. And maybe that was because the video was a little bit more rushed than it should have been because I was off on the weekend and doing a bunch of stuff on the weekend. So that is my fault for not being as clear about my concerns as I was. I did eventually go into the DCS Discord, and a lot of people were talking about that video, and I made my concerns more clear, and it seemed like a lot of people understood what my concerns were more clearly. And I want to address a few comments from that video and kind of put my concerns more clearly and more concisely about this F-35 airframe becoming a part of DCS. So again, that's on me, and let's get into some of the comments that have been coming up more frequently in terms of that video. So this comment has kind of come up a lot, and a lot of people have said it in different words, but I feel like the shorter term of this comment would be better, is, bro, mission makers can just not add it, problem solved, good day. That's not a problem solving, because what you're not understanding is people are spending $80, what I would assume $80 on this new airframe eventually when it comes out. We're probably not expecting it to come out for at minimum 3 years. But the problem is that people are spending that amount of money on an airframe for a digital piece of media that's going to be sitting on their hard drive, and they're going to be spending many hours learning the airframe, learning how to fly it, how to land it, how to operate its weapon systems, how to navigate, and etc. Everything about an airframe that you need to learn about a high fidelity aircraft, or a full fidelity aircraft, I should say. And when they go into a multiplayer server, if there are no servers in terms of PvP, because from what I've been hearing from a lot of PvP servers is they're just flat out not going to allow it because of how good that airframe is, or subjugating it to only a small amount of that airframe. One, if it's just banned outright, you just spend $80 on an airframe that you can't fly against other players on other servers. So that's gone. If you're going to PvE servers, they might reduce the amount of F-35s that can be actually flown, or just not have it all either. Because now you've just spent $80 on an airframe that is just not going to be allowed on the multiplayer side, or severely restricted on the multiplayer side. And the multiplayer side of DCS is still a huge portion of that game. I know a lot of people have been commenting who say that, well, I don't care about the multiplayer side. I only play single player, and I'm excited for this aircraft. Great. Wonderful for you. I'm glad that you're excited for this aircraft, and it's keeping you flying DCS. But my concerns is based off of people's money. I, as a content creator and somebody who's highly invested into video games, cannot support a product that has the ability for it to basically rip people's money off. I'm not saying DCS or ED is doing that on purpose. I don't think that at all. I think ED is extremely good, and they're very understanding about the DCS community. I feel like a lot of people are harder on ED than they should be. I feel like they're doing their best. I think they have a good product, and that's why I make videos about DCS, because I enjoy their product and I enjoy the developers. They're extremely nice people. What I am saying is that if they put out this aircraft and it's better than what everybody expects, or it's as good as I am expecting it to be, that people are going to be spending a large amount of money on an airframe that they cannot use on the entirety of the game. Now, obviously, people are going to probably come down in the comments and say, like, well, you can't fly a Spitfire in modern military servers, so why does that matter? The point is that if I'm buying an airframe, I expect to be able to fly it in any server that's dedicated to that time period, that time area. For instance, if I buy a Cold War jet, I expect to be able to fly it in all Cold War servers. if I buy a World War II plane, I expect to fly it in all World War II servers. If I'm planning on buying the F-35, which at this point I'm not, but if I plan on buying the F-35, I expect to be able to fly it in all servers that are dedicated around that time period. And if it's effectively banned, that is a huge waste of money in terms of the market of DCS on the multiplayer side. And I know that there's even some PvE servers that are thinking about either reducing the amount of F-35s in their multiplayer servers or just flat out not having them. And if they reduce the amount of size and people who want to fly the F-35, given with how powerful the aircraft is, a lot of people might just load into that server, immediately get into the F-35 and just hold on to it because they know that they won't be able to get back into it if they were to leave the server at any point. So that's going to be a problem for people who are just wanting to fly it in multiplayer for maybe the first time. And or two, if it's just not on those servers, you just wasted $80 on an airframe that you can't use on the multiplayer side whatsoever. Why would I support or not have concerns about a product that is not allowing or has the possibility of not allowing players who are spending that kind of money to use that airframe and have the full ability to use it in DCS entirely? That is a huge, massive concern. And I know I've talked to some people who are saying, like, well, you shouldn't care about what people use their money on. But again, I'm a content creator. I will not support a product that people are going to be basically wasting their money on that they cannot use to its full ability within that game. And I refuse to not be concerned about that aspect. So the second comment that I wanted to talk about is a lot of people are just saying that this is just outrage and it's tiring. Look, I'm not trying to cause outrage. If you're excited for the F-35 and you play PvE or you play single player, awesome, great. I've said it before. If you're excited for it, that's awesome. If it's going to keep you flying in DCS, that's awesome because DCS is a great product. It's an awesome product that I think a lot of people can enjoy. And all I'm doing is I'm airing out concerns that I have about the F-35 and how it's going to affect the multiplayer side, especially when the Red Coalition side, which would be like Russia, China, etc., are kind of being neglected right now in DCS. The Blue Coalition, which would be your NATO aircraft, are getting more and more support, while the Red Coalition's kind of being left behind. I feel like there would be better ways of building up to the F-35, in my personal opinion, going with aircraft, for instance, like a more modernized Su-27 or a more modernized MiG-29, which is something that they are doing. They are adding, I believe, the Polish modernized version of the MiG-29. I think it's the MiG-AM. I could be wrong about that, but they are adding a full fidelity modernized MiG-29, which I'm excited for. I think that's a good move. And there's other things that they could have added to build up to the F-35, which would have made me a lot more comfortable with the F-35 as well. I also do have concerns about whether they are able to implement and get enough information with the F-35 and be able to implement certain systems. I have talked to F-35 pilots about things like what the augmented reality visors that they are wearing now, what that looks like in terms of the information and the way that the data link works. And it's like pulling teeth. And it's something that on ED's FAQ page, they do mention that they're going to be using to talking to F-35 pilots to get more information about how these systems work. And it's really difficult to kind of get that information. And I'm concerned about that. Whether ED has more weight than just an average citizen asking about it is probably more the case. So they might be able to get more information than I would. But that is something that is concerning for somebody like me, whether they are able to do enough with enough information that they have to getting the aircraft right enough for the way DCS is. I understand that not every aircraft has all the systems there that are working exactly as they would in real life. I'm aware of that. I believe ILCS doesn't work the way it does in the F-18. I am aware of that. Obviously, there's going to be certain things that are classified that you just kind of have to guess or just not implement whatsoever. But there are certain things about the aircraft that are the main thing that it does that is extremely difficult to kind of pull out of F-35 pilots to get that level of information. So I have talked to someone from ED. This was a little bit ago, but can't really remember their name. And they did quell some of those concerns. I'm still concerned about it, but I'm not as concerned about it anymore. Obviously, they can't let me know everything that they're doing to get the information, but it did make me a little bit more comfortable on that end. But I'm not trying to just generate outrage and be mad that this aircraft is in, because I'm not mad. I'm just concerned about the overall marketing for this aircraft is what I'm more concerned about. This is the last comment I want to address. As a new channel, I assume you're just jumping out on this for views and exposure for your channel, and that's fine, but this will be amazing for DCS. They can make this module so close to the real deal as possible with the information that's available now in open source. If you think the F-16 and F-18 is 100% real, then you're mistaken. This will be a great addition to DCS and will be an amazing module, and I cannot wait to try it and fly it with missions and campaigns with it. I want to be 100% clear. I do not create content to just generate views and generate people to go into my channel to like, subscribe, or do whatever. I don't do that. The original content that I have made was purely Yu-Gi-Oh content and a Mario speedrun. I love those videos and I still watch them to this day. I do not care about the views, the likes, the comments. I don't care about them. I generate content because I like generating content, and I generate content for things that I'm interested in. And in fact, I'm thinking about making another video about Yu-Gi-Oh because I still collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards and I still play Yu-Gi-Oh sometimes as well. This channel is for what I am interested in and what I care about at the moment. I may not create DCS content forever. I don't know that. I'm just generating DCS content now because that is what I'm interested in. This comment genuinely made me quite angry because that is not what my channel is for. I do not promote my channel and I do not ask people to like and subscribe to my content because this channel is for what I am interested in. People subscribe to the content for what they are interested in and they like the content whether they like it or not. So no. I do not do that to generate views or any amount of attention towards my channel. Secondly, I am aware that the modules in DCS are not 100% accurate. It is a video game. I am aware of that. It is close as what you can get to the real life thing, but I like DCS as a video game because of the realism, not expecting that everything is 100% realistic. I am aware that the way that the RCS works in DCS isn't 100% accurate. I am aware that not all systems are accurate to what the module is. I am aware of that. But also what I am aware of is that ED in their own FAQ agree that the fact that the F-35 is going to be, quote, the 300-pound gorilla in the room. They are aware that this aircraft is going to be extremely powerful and extremely formidable in terms of DCS. They are aware of this. That is concerning when you're looking at it from a multiplayer aspect. If it is purely just for single player, I wouldn't be worried about it. But when it comes to people's money and they're spending this aircraft expecting to be able to do anything they want with it in terms of DCS, then I get concerned because it has to deal with people's money. And I am not going to support a product, again, that has the possibility for people to not get the full usage out of their money when it comes to an airframe in DCS. That is my concern. And I'm not going to be silent about my concerns with that. So anyways, I hope you guys understand more where I'm coming from with my concerns when it comes to the F-35 and DCS. If you are excited for this aircraft and you are somebody who's into single player or PvE, then great. I'm glad for you, and I'm glad that you are excited for an aircraft that's going to keep you flying in DCS. I'm just not going to be silent about concerns when it comes to people's money and certain aspects with DCS when it comes to this aircraft. So I apologize that my last video wasn't more clear and concise what I'm meaning by my concerns in this video, but I hope it's more prominent as to what my concerns are and more clear and concise. That is, again, my fault that I rushed a video out and I shouldn't have done that. But this hopefully is more clear and concisely put to what my concerns really are. And anyways, I'm going to leave the F-35 conversation at that. I'm going to go back to normal DCS content after this video, and hopefully you guys have a better understanding where I'm coming from. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful weekend or the rest of your week, and I will see you all later. Peace out.